7:30 a.m. Saturday, November 8th. Hey, good morning. T-Rex stunt double. Can you jump up and down 3 times, the triple hop and run out the door? Good, are you? The geranium's in for their winter place, and the basil's not going to make it through the winter, but it's fun to still have it in. So let's go out the door and talk about breaking news here on Cape Cod. For the first time in 21 weeks, we have rain falling from the sky on a Saturday. Or not. I just sent some drizzle right now. I hear the same taunting blue jay followed me from Weymouth. T-Rex and Steve did not make the trip, and neither did my chargers for my iPhone and MacBook, so I got to get this done quickly. Let's check the rain bucket. We got 6 inches of rain last night. Kidding. That's since I think about October 12th. And we picked up about 0.2 of an inch of rain spots. I think Sturbridge, Massachusetts came in with 0.4 last night, and there were some gusty downpours and some thunderstorms just missed us. Maybe you got one, Max on Martha's Vineyard, or Bruce on Nantucket. Did you get a thunderstorm last night? So we have a couple of fronts around here this morning. And what's the temperature here? I'll show the fronts right now. There's looks like a dual cold fronts. We've got a 1,004 millibar low over Nebraska Knoll, Vermont, near Stowe, and that goes down to Nebraska State. Behind that, there's a real cold air, but that front in Nebraska is moving more south than east. And we've got dual warm fronts there in Maine and south of New England. And we've also got a wave on a cold front, 1,004 over Long Island, that's going to keep the rain going a little bit here in southern New England, southeastern New England through about midday or so. And the cold air is not really racing back in here. It's headed more towards Georgia than it is toward Maine. It's going to be a really tough call over the next couple of days. And let's check the temperature here in South Dennis. What is that? The reflection gets in my way. About 57 degrees. So the temperature has been going up all night. And inside the house, it was only 52 when I got here. So I turned on the heat. But it's a fairly nice day. Sans sunshine here in southeastern Massachusetts. So the regional roundup, where is the cold air? Here's the regional roundup. I don't have the red numbers on because there are no real wind gusts to speak of. The wind is really diminished, but I do have the blue numbers on, the dew points. So when you're trying to preserve a snowpack in the mountains, you want your dew points to stay as low as possible. And the dew point is in the 50s now from southern Maine to here on Cape Cod, but then the dew point does fall into the 40s in parts of low 40s in northern Vermont. And then as you move west out of Vermont, your temperature and your dew points are falling through the 30s, and your freezing air now is north of Lake Erie in Ontario. That's the cold air that's going to ease into far northwestern New England today, but not racing in. So how'd our snowpack do overnight? I'm talking about snowpack. And leaves aren't even off the trees down here on Cape Cod yet. Good raking day. The snowpack at Mount Mansfield, here's the view from the cam this morning, and the cloud, typical cloud on the day after. Picked up about 0.2 of an inch of rain, I think, at Stowe last night. And you can see the snow is diminished or disappeared from the base area. But up top, this snowpack is pretty solid because we've had snow on snow on snow. And now this is a little thaw that's going to last probably another 6 to 8 hours above maybe 3,000 feet. So it's going to be a huge difference between the snow melt down low and up top. The Mansfield snow stake this morning, I clicked on a year that looked closest to this one, and oh my goodness, look what popped up. The holy grail of winters, 1968-69. There were only 2 inches of snow on the ground on November 8th or 7th. This is yesterday's data. But by the 8th, it was jumped up to about 10 or 11, which we are at right now. And then we're in lockstep with the holy grail of winters. Oh my goodness. That's not a forecast, but that can be a wish cast. That winter of 68-69 is the season of record for the most snow in the mountains of northern New England. Look at that graph. Goes way up over 150 inches in the middle of the winter. I think that was the year of the 100-hour snowstorm in Mount Washington. So we're not going for that winter, but we'll settle for 76, 77. We talked about yesterday, but probably more reasonable other years that were kind of matching this would be 2000 and, oh shoot, I think I remember 6, and also 1988, other years that had about this much snow on the ground at this time. So we're in rather rarefied territory, and we're not going to have a major meltdown, so the snow is going to remain before it starts snowing again. Let's look at the radar, and you see the broken front here with the snow rain line north of Maine going all the way down to Florida with some precipitation. A lot of thunderstorms formed east of New Jersey last night, but that's going out to sea. Then you have another system with rain and snow coming across South Dakota and Iowa, and that's going to be the system that's going to dig and branch out toward New England, but it's going to send warmer air back up the east coast, but cold air plunging down west of the Hudson River Valley, and how that evolves is going to be interesting. And let's show another perspective on the surface map we just saw this morning. Let's look at tomorrow morning, and it has wow, dual cold fronts coming at New England, and the fronts stretch from southeastern Canada all the way down to the Gulf, and there's a storm in the the Ohio Valley or so, with the fronts right over New England, with the wintry mix coming back at us tomorrow morning, tomorrow midday, and that 1040 high there coming out of Canada into North Dakota. That is the potential record-breaking cold air mass that is forecast to plunge into the southeastern United States, not the northeastern United States, because of a high amplitude flow. And did I show the satellite yet? I don't think I did. The satellite image would show another storm in the Pacific Ocean getting ready to come on to the coast, but right now the west coast is getting a break, and you got that system in the middle of the nation, and the system from 2 days ago, that bomb cyclone, the second one of the week, is out east of Newfoundland, and there's a sort of a bending backwards of the jet stream in eastern Canada, and last night's low is there in Quebec, and it's kind of just sitting there and stalling. So the flow is going to be from central Canada down to the southeastern United States. Then with a ridge on the east coast, we're going to get another batch of warmer air coming up from Cape Cod to Maine tomorrow. And so let's look at that and see how it works out on the NAM. The NAM high res goes out 60 hours, where the HRRR only goes out 48. So I'm going to use this one because it'll take us to Monday morning. And there's the showers in southeastern Massachusetts, and the red line's warm enough for rain, and the blue line's cold enough for snow, but you don't see any precipitation coming in with the blue lines, do you? And fewer isobars today, so it's not a very windy day. And we have the rain exiting Cape Cod about, what's that, 18Z, so it's about 1 o'clock. You gotta go 18 minus 5 minus 12 is 1 o'clock. Yep, that's how that works. And then the blue lines are coming in, but not much snow, is it? There may be a few snowflakes up in northwestern Vermont, parts of northern New York. And we get tonight off, and there'll be some radiational cooling. Could be some black ice, believe it or not, northern New York, northern Vermont. But in eastern New England, we're hanging under those red lines. And here comes the precipitation. It's blue as snow coming into the mountains of Vermont and New York tomorrow in the afternoon, and it's going to go to a wintry mix. And then you can see the green is rain. It's going to change to rain at most elevations, just cold enough for rain, all the way up to the Canadian border, with one low going up across Montreal. And you have another low forming on the front well south of New England. So tomorrow, one batch of rain goes out, and then now we get to Monday morning, and we have sort of in between, with the front kind of taking a little breather there. And this is now November 10th at 1 p.m. And you can get a low way down south of Cape Cod, but not a lot going on here. And note those lines, the blue and red lines, they're going north-south instead of east-west. So we got to wait for those lines to push to the east, and that's not going to happen until Monday night and Tuesday, Veterans Day. And it is less bullish on snow for New England in the next 5 days than it was yesterday. And I got to get this done. I'm going to do a little raking today. My phone and my MacBook do not have a charger, so I got to get this edit done and work in the worm farm right here, and then come back and get Steve and T-Rex tomorrow. So here's the euro. This is what we're going to... No, we're not going to use the euro. Breaking news, the euro went off the rails last night after yesterday. Both the GFS, the American, and the euro were in lockstep with what's going to happen over the next 7 days. The euro last night took and blasted a big warm front through us next weekend, where the GFS and the euro both had snowstorms for New England next Sunday. The euro would have us in the 50s, so we're not going to look at that. We're going to go to the GFS. First time we've used the GFS since hurricane season started. It has no fictional hurricanes on it, so here it is with the system and all those blue lines plunging south across the Great Lakes states. And here in New England, we get the blue lines easing in, and there's our wintry mix coming at us tomorrow and lifting to the north. So a wintry mix in the highest elevations of western New England, not so much Maine, but Vermont, and especially New York. That's not part of New England, is it? With that first batch going up and out, so some downpours, maybe a thunderstorm in southern New England will have ended tomorrow evening. And now we watch the front extend all the way down to the southeastern United States. Monday morning, we're going to stop it again on Monday morning and look for that elusive 510 wayward polar vortex type feature. And I don't see the number 510 on there, but as you zoom in towards, slowly, Indiana, I think that you see the 516 over Kentucky, and then just to its north, that blue circle without a number in there, that's the 510 thickness. That is record cold air aloft, and your surface cold air is going to be on the west side of that, with the high pressure system that's over the western United States pushing the cold and freeze all the way down to Alabama, with this system. It'll be snowing in the mountains of North Carolina while it's raining in Maine. The front still, like we said, the last couple of days, not a lot of rain, but light rain. The front extends from south of New England, south of Maine to Miami still, and the low pressure system, again, adjusting a little further south and east. Now we'll put this back into motion, and we have the waves of low pressure not looking as impressive as this trough remains mostly positive tilted, and you do get some upslope snow there in Vermont, and the wind does start to pick up on Veterans Day, but it no longer looks like a full-on high elevation snowstorm. So it's going to be more sort of the J cloud event instead of more of a widespread snow that's going to come in here with the wind and the chill coming all the way to the coast. Now, because it's a low barometer cold, I do not think we're going to get a hard freeze from Boston to Cape Cod, low in the 30s, but not the 20s. So I don't have to, but I'm still going to clean out the garden hoses and drain them. And then the midweek, we still have a lot of isobars with a westerly wind, very cold in the southeastern United States, and just cool and windy here with some more upslope snow and another little short wave like we had yesterday coming in Wednesday and Thursday, kind of a reinforcing cold. And now look at the red lines with the 576 coming across Oklahoma. That's record heat trying to push toward the Great Lakes, but we have the Greenland block. So what happens? That red wave is stopped and the blue contours stay right over New England, cold enough for snow as this low after a Saturday system is kind of weak. The Sunday system looks like it wants to ramp up. And again, just like yesterday, almost a lockstep with yesterday's Euro and GFS. This is the GFS, and we'll stop it there on, that would be Monday the 17th 0Z, which is actually 7 p.m. Sunday the 16th, and it almost looks identical to yesterday, a 989 low. That's powerful, right over Syracuse, New York, with the snow falling, the blue, from Burlington, Vermont to Boston, Massachusetts. I'll take the over on Burlington and the under on Boston on that one. It would try and bring snow right down to the Cape Cod Canal. So that's right on the edge, and that's thanks to the Greenland block. So this is, again, the GFS, and much of the middle of the nation is going to be really warm, and there's a new storm coming onto the west coast, and I really like the look of that pattern there. And the fun in forecasting. Boy, it's like being on a weather forecasting treadmill, almost exhausting here, trying to keep up. And so I guess I'm happy that my systems are going to run out of juice, and I'll just work in the gardens a little bit and really winterize the house for good down here in Cape Cod. There's our rescue garden Montauk right there. And yesterday's and more weather. Yesterday's weather today, we started off in Weymouth. I can't remember. What was it doing? It was increasing clouds and a really pretty day yesterday. And then we get down, I monitored the foliage and got to Horsefoot Cove just in time to see the sign going up. Ed says, thanks for a good season. We'll see you in the springtime. So here's yesterday's weather today and more. We'll be back with Steve and T-Rex tomorrow morning. Love that the anemometer is still. And more, 10 a.m. on our Friday, November 7. The guns are still going up there at Northridge and Killington. Opening now, it looks like next week. A little melting going on this weekend, but not a lot. Still 46 degrees here with very light wind, but warm air advection commences. A little November thaw for a couple days. Very excited to see the new guidance come in this morning. More T-Rex tricks. He's in charge, isn't he?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce. Yeah, we're all done, T-Rex. We'll refill that bowl for next week.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
See ya. First thing Rex does is teach the male person. Mike taught T-Rex the tricks, and then T-Rex taught Bruce to carry on the tricks. I know, Rex, I know. Oh, it's empty. What are we gonna do? Maybe we'll get more. It's not making this voyage. Quick run to Cape Cod to drain the garden hoses down here. A little time in the worm farm. Maybe we'll make sunset. And it certainly looks like a sundog kind of day with the possible ice crystals refracting and reflecting. Beautiful. Oak trees are turning now. We've still got foliage. Gotta clean this lens a little. That's better. Peak foliage on the west side of Great Hill in Weymouth. Beautiful red oaks. I mean, the lighting was a little better a minute ago, but really loving the foliage here now as we enter Plymouth. It looks like we missed last call. We'll see you in the spring. On the spring, yeah. And we made sunset though, I think. Just flushed a couple of ducks. Darn, should have come in quietly. TK quiet, he doesn't know that one. We'll see you in the spring, osprey families. But obviously there are still plenty of birds around. Somehow they can get quahogs out of the mud, which to me is a feat of strength for something that flies and has webbed feet. Look at the size of this one. Cleaned it right out. Yep. Wow, even bigger. About the same. Yep, wampum. Plenty of wampum over here. And, oh, some blue crabs still left around. Some boats still left, Bass River Marina. And the moon's coming up in probably a couple of hours as the sun goes down, and we play some piano music. And we appreciate your viewership. Fairly quick edit on this one, right? What do we call Saturdays? Can't remember what we call Saturdays, but we'll see you then. No, wait, Sunday. Today is Saturday because this is yesterday's weather today. It's Friday right now, and we're watching this on a Saturday. And we'll see you on Not in a Hurry Sunday. Get a little November thaw. But in the big picture, winter is here. You're flying the wrong way. That's north. All right, talk to you tomorrow.